So another thing you want to consider in all these things is pH. When you put them in water, some require the pH to increase, some require the pH to go down. For example, guaiacol. For it to properly dissolve all the product, it requires the pH to go down. Same thing applies to your xanthan. And some require to be on the heat for it to properly dissolve. Xanthan also is in that format. When it's on the heat, you don't use any form of pH adjuster. It will properly dissolve and thicken the product properly. And then another factor before we go to the next thickener is you want to dissolve your gums inside water phase before you start adding your oil phase. Why? Because in your water phase, they absorb all the water. They use all the water to rise up in order for them to form that gel. Let me borrow the word swell, when something expands. Okay, so they need that water. So you need all your water to come together. Only water in your water phase, you add all your thickness. Before you start adding your oil phase, you start adding your surfactant, whatsoever. So you do that. In a shampoo whereby you have oil phase, you want to add the oil phase last. That means after the thickener has gone into the water, you will now add your surfactant, so that it also absorb the water from your surfactant phase and use everything to rise properly, expand properly, and form that nice gel effect before you now add your oil. When you now, for example, if you add it after the oil phase, you've added the oil phase to your water, it doesn't really have chance to absorb the water. The oil will interfere with its activity. It is to expand properly in the water and then form the gel. So you don't want to add it after the oil. It's always before the oil phase. So you add your thickness. And another thing is, if you are using heat method to dissolve your thickness, I will advise it, add it while on the heat. Don't take it down. Add it while on the heat and stir it properly. The one that require the pH to go up, you adjust the pH before you even finish the product. So you adjust the pH. Let's say you've added to the water phase, and then you see it's not forming the gel. Then you adjust the pH. Don't worry, adjust the pH, either increasing or decreasing, in order to form that gel. When you now add your oil phase and everything, at the end of everything, you can now bring the pH down. So with all these ones I've shown you already, when you correct their pH at the end of the formulation, they don't change the formulation. Their gel effect is still remaining there in the formulation. They will not change. The only gelling thickener or gum that you cannot just adjust the pH at the end is your Carbopol or Carboma. So we are using Carbopol or Carboma 940. With this one, this pH is 100% pH dependent. It works at high pH, 6 to 8 pH. So before it forms the gel properly for you, it will require you to increase the pH. So you want to use sodium hydroxide. And then at the end of your formulation, you cannot bring the pH down below 6. You can bring it down to 6.5, 7 and use it for whatever you want to use. But immediately the pH goes below 6, even some Carboma below 7, they will start forming water. So even if you formulate a cream, hand lotion, whatsoever with a Carbopol or a gel, facial gel and all those things, as soon as you decrease the pH below its normal pH, let's say you want to bring the pH to the pH of skin, it will turn to water. It won't give you the effect, the result you desire for that formulation. So Carboma or Carbopol is pH dependent, even at the end of the solution. The other ones, they require the pH adjuster, either high or low, in order to form the gel. But they are not, as soon as they form the gel, they are not depending on pH anymore. You can now decide to decrease or increase the pH. It won't affect their final results. Then we have the last one here is our hydroxycellulose. The number one I still like after the high standard xanthine. Number one I like most. The next high standard xanthine. Then I go ahead Siligel before coming to xanthine games. Cationic guaiacol, that one we have no choice than to use it in our formulations for hair conditioners because we need it to stabilize our conditioners. So here our Siligel, you can see, is the best among all of them. It's see-through. You can use it to make anything you want to make. Is it serum? I use it mostly in my serums. So in serum, you want to decrease it because this is too thick. You are using other ingredients. Here, remember, we are not using any other ingredient. It's just water, glycerin in some of them, and some of them there's no glycerin. Especially this one, there's no glycerin. It dissolves straightly into the water. So I don't need glycerin to disperse this inside the water. So it dissolves easily inside the water. It's the best among all of them. So it dissolves so easily inside water, but you need to increase the pH in order for it to completely dissolve. And when you do it immediately, it doesn't form the proper gel you want. Give it time or give it a high stir like blend, then it forms that gel. But it forms the transparent gel you want. So if you want to make, for example, gel serum, I will advise you use hydroxycellulose. We call it HEC. So I will advise you use this hydroxycellulose if you want to make a gel serum, because in your bottle, it will be in a white bottle, it will be transparent. Even if you add colorant or an ingredient that has color, even if you use it, that ingredient will come out the formulation will come out a transparent pale formulation in the bottle. So that's the best part of hydroxycellulose. So and with these ones, like I told you, at the end of the formulation, you can always bring their pH down to the pH of skin, hair, or the pH of the most important ingredient you want in that formulation. Let's take, for example, niacinamide in your formulation. If, for example, let's say its pH is 4, so, and you've corrected this pH to, for example, 8, and you've corrected this pH, for example, to 3. At the end of the formulation, you can bring up or bring down the pH to 4, and their jelly effect will still remain the same. They will not be affected. They just need those pH adjuster in order for them to properly dissolve, expand, and drink enough amount of water to form that gel. After they form the gel, they don't depend on any pH again. Okay, so you can go ahead, correct your pH as you want at the end of your product. But the only thing that depends on pH, even at the end of your formulation, is carbopor or carboma 940. There are different types of carboma or carbopor that has high effect than this one. If you can source them, go ahead and buy them. And I swear there are a lot of other thickeners out there that we did not even talk about here. So go ahead and use them and buy them, experiment with them, and see the effect on yourself. So when you are experimenting, try to see how they feel on the skin after they have dried. For example, xanthine regular will form tacky or sticky effect after it's dry. But for example, this one will not form the same one. See, it's smooth, it won't have that sticky effect on you. And same applies with the cellulose, the silly gel, and the other ones. So go ahead and experiment. Thank you all. Happy formulating. Bye.